but like, yeah, they could have capsized their own land. They could have won in many ways. Like, if they bounced my board every turn, I also can't win. Even if they lose Tron, they had so much mana available that they were likely winning. Yeah. Okay, back into this match. My previous hand was an obvious mulligan. This looks like a pretty decent keep. Though I'm pretty flooded on 2 mana enablers already, so I don't think I need an extra one. Want to be making my land drops, as well as finding a Delve payoff. Though the vessel can help with finding a Delve payoff. Yeah. So either Elves or Stumpy. Both of those are probably not great. No, actually Stumpy should be pretty decent. With like the slightly beefier creatures and like a decent mix of removal. Like Hexproof plus Elephant Guide is probably a huge problem. Maybe Werebear first, because they're unlikely to kill it and it offers me some acceleration. And I do have my extra land drop available already. But yeah, Elves seems pretty threatening, at least pre-board when I don't have access to board wipes yet. They just do their like token thing and the tokens end up blocking my clunky creatures. And they gain enough life that I can't really be aggressive. But I don't have enough removal to be truly controlling. What the hell? No, never mind. No, they just have like one land and with the reasonable curve, then all of that seems alright. Okay. Okay, probably just want to Sager and then keep Vessel open so that I have a 4/4 blocker. Sure. That makes it more difficult for them to attack, especially if they don't have the second land still, then none of their pump spells really help them to attack in. They would have to commit Rancor onto the board pre-combat. Hunger of the Hallpack is not good enough. That's strange. And Vines of the Westwood they can't kick. I guess I can never block this one though, but I can block the Nether Sentinel. Because if I make this a 4-power creature before blocking, then it's tapped. And yeah, as a 1-power creature it can't block here. So I guess they just want to sacrifice their Nether Sentinel and then put 3+1/+1 counters on this with Hunger of the Hallpack and go like all in on a single big creature. That has to be their plan, or they're just missing the interaction on the board, which seems like a weird thing to miss. Well, still going for this. I don't think there's any pump spell that really punishes me. Like, the only thing that punishes me is that they make this into a 5/5. Presumably. Well, that's a pretty big whiff on the Vessel. But filling my graveyard was still beneficial. Well, Gurmit Angler still ends up contesting this Skargan Pit Skulk as a 5/5. Yeah, so their plan was to do that. Now I guess I have to also start racing. Wow, my draw is awful. What the hell? And I didn't even find like a Trainer's Edict or something, so that flooding out this badly ends up being in any way beneficial. Wow. And it's still going to be a close race against the 1-land mana screwed opponent. Blastoderm and Gurmit Angler still make this a lot better for me, assuming there's no Rancor follow-up. But yeah, it could be that my opponent casts no additional spells and I end up losing. That spell might actually be helpful to me. If it doesn't get enchanted with Rancor, then it's actually losing them more life than it's gaining them. Okay, that's decent. Most likely they just chump block with it. Nope. Okay, that seems pretty aggressive. I would have expected a chump block on the Werebear to be beneficial to them, because if I play a 5-power creature, it contests the Skargan anyways. So I'm not sure why you don't really get more than the 4 life out of it. I guess if they do have Rancor, if they have Rancor, they still want to put it on here and win over 2 turns with 7 damage and then another 7 damage. So then blocking with this still ends up being beneficial. It's kind of strange to not block with it, I think, because that allows me to find like dead weight off the top and punish them. Okay, so they had like the super nutty Burning Tree Emissary, Flooded Hand. Okay, so they do have a Rancor. Still feel like this is likely incorrect to put it on the Vault Scourge, because now I can trade here. What the hell? Is it bad for me to trade? They go back up to 10. I think it's slightly better for me to trade. They're at 10. Yeah, they have too many blockers on the ground, and getting this 5-5, what the hell? 5-5 off the board has to be useful. Well, I guess I have to bank on the fact that I find Chainer's Edict at some point, or that, I mean, that way just deals with their 1 creature, but Chainer's Edict actually gives me a realistic chance of stabilizing. Okay, they're playing around that as well by not blocking. Holy moly, so many lands. I mean, the Satyr Wayfinder's finding extra lands is reasonable, but at least like Vessels and Grizzly Salvages and all those should be able to find me non-land threats, non-land things to do, and I have not done so. Yeah, I think this double block for the same reason that I want to Chainer's Edict myself back into the game. Pretty unfortunate to lose this game. I think I was a pretty big favorite on like turn 3 and turn 4, and then my draw just ended up completely whiffing and not doing anything. Okay, time to Satyr Wayfinder into more lands. I mean, this can still find me. There's all the spells that I was looking for. I was gonna say that can still find me the Chainer's Edict, so at least I get more or less a spell out of it, but yeah, pretty dead here. Block, jump, block, yeah. Don't have any more outs in my deck, because I end up on 1 while jump blocking, and then I don't have enough blockers to survive with the dead weight top deck, which is the only way for me to get the bolt under control. Cartouche of Ambition seems great. Blaster Gem seems pretty mediocre, which is a reoccurring trend here. And Thorn is probably bad. Nausea is like pretty mediocre. They do have some small creatures, but their plan is going to be to go big on something with Elephant Guide anyways, and then they do have a bunch of 2/2 creatures. I'm not certain how good Gnaw to the bone is for me. I mean, it does buy me a lot of time and makes the racing situations a lot better for me, but it also is pretty useless when they put Elephant Guide on a Lana Ledgewalker or on a Vault Scourge or something. Then I end up gaining life, but I still don't have the board under control. Probably do want it in the deck, at the very least to try it out. Or maybe just 1 or something. Sure. Because I don't want too much life gain, I still have to, as I said, keep the board under control. Okay, this gives me some high impact creatures already, so I don't have as much of a chance of flooding out. My main game plan of casting a 5/5 on turn 3 should come to fruition here. Yeah, this pretty much already enables that. 4 cards, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So even if I take a card off of Grizzly Salvage, you can sometimes consider not taking a card off of this so that your graveyard ends up being a little bit more filled. But here I can take 1 card off of Grizzly Savage, so I end up with 4 cards in the graveyard. This is the 5th one, and then 2 mana makes it 7 with Delving. Well, they have a pretty fast draw. Let's hope my 1 Gramic Angler can keep that under control. Yeah, I was considering whether you might want like a Crypt Rats or a Pestilence or something. Crypt Rats can be hit off of the, well, basically all the non-Satyr Wayfinder cantrips, like Grisly, Salvage, Vessel, and Commune. And then Pestilence can be hit off Commune and Vessel. Satyr seems good here, I think. Maybe I just want the land. Pretty close. Okay, let's go with the land to curve out a little bit smoother. So now I do have like Nauseas and Shrivels and all that stuff, but none of them really interact with the cards that allow me to see a lot more cards. Like the appeal of the deck is that you go through so many cards with these mill fives that you board in something that is permanent based and you always get to find it at some point in the game. When you board in spells, that actually synergizes really poorly. So yeah, Crypt Red could be appealing for these types of go wide matchups where you want a board wipe, but you want your board wipe to not be a spell but a creature instead. Or an enchantment, of course. Those two are the card types that you really interact favorably with. So I'm not certain if we can fit that in and if it's actually better, but I could see that being better. This looks like very Vines of the Vastwoody or Hunger of the Hull Pack, or both, which would end up being awful. Like if I block here, well, this is best against Vines of the Vastwood. Then they end up giving +4/+4 in trading. But it's worse against Hunger because I let them keep this one and then they just make it into a 5/5 again. So I guess that's reasonable for me because I get to follow up with another Angler pretty soon. Sure, I'll try this. If they have both, I'm in trouble regardless where I block. Okay, so it looks like Hunger. Okay. Or they're just going super aggressive and trying to trade in their board for damage, which seems ambitious. Or maybe just both. Both a follow-up creature and a Hunger. Rancor. Sure. They do have the Hunger. Yeah, this is a pretty huge issue. Because I don't even have a way of killing this. Like, it's now unblockable, and my deck doesn't have any spot removal. I think the deck previously had like one Doomblade in the sideboard or something that I cut. So that's a little bit my fault, but once again, it's a spell that does a 1-up in the deck. We have no way of finding it, and I was considering actually turning it into an Oubliette, because Oubliette once again is an enchantment, so I could go like Vessel of Nascency, crack, take the Oubliette into my hand, then exile this. That actually looks a lot more appealing to me, so I think I want to open up some slots in the sideboard for Pestilence, Crypt Red, Oubliette, one of those, or maybe some combination of those, so that you have access to more removal out of your enchantment package. I mean, I guess my attempt at winning at this point is going to be finding Cartouche of Ambition and then getting a 6-point lifelink hit in the next turn. That seems like my only hope. Well, Gnaw to the Bone is like a little bit of a hope. Though currently there's way too few creatures in my graveyard, so I would have to hit some pretty nice graveyard filling off of this Grisly Salvage. I think I need to pass on casting this Hooting Mandrills even, because I could have attacked and then cast it, but then like I lose out on creatures in my graveyard, so actually no, I had to delve. Yeah, I can't delve away the Gnaw to the Bone, so I have to pass on it. So Cartouche is still my out because I can shrink this to a 6-power creature while also having a 6-power lifelinker of my own, which threatens to win the race or threatens to block. No, I do have to Gnaw to the Bone it up to survive here. God damn it, there's all the spells. And the cartouche. No! This is the wrong cantrip. No, one of my cartouches is gone. Huh. Do I even need to not take this Putrid Leech? Just so there's more creatures in the graveyard. So I can gain 4 here. Oh, that would be awful. Okay, I think I'll have to do that. Yeah, I think I'm on like cartouche 1 outer by now. Okay, let's gain life and then delve some stuff afterwards. Wait, oh, it's 3 mana even. Oh, that makes my situation even worse. Yeah, they can just attack with everything, and then I can even afford to cast one of my creatures. I need to spend the full 3 mana on the Gnaw to the Bone. Yeah. Matchup seems pretty difficult if I don't at least draw some number of dead weights in the early game and I completely whiff on. So I block there. I do still survive. But they end up with a huge dominating board position. Yeah, I don't have access to board wipes to catch up falling behind. And I'm very reliant on keeping up with a low amount of removal and drawing an above average number of it. Like going dead weight into Trainer's Edict or something, which was pretty unrealistic with how few of them I'm running. Or I have to have Cartouche of Knowledge, Cartouche of Ambition on curve, which has not happened. I had the wrong cantrip to find it, and then I dumped it into the graveyard. And now I no longer have a board. The Cartouche might still stabilize by shrinking this and making a 6-power lifelinker, but it's a 1 outer now. Damn it. Yep, we died. Unfortunate. So yeah, I think the deck is very consistent.